Hello and welcome. This is Emily. It's good to have you once again. Today we're talking about talking and public display of who we are and its impact on our lives. Now, I want to believe that many of us, when we are out there, we are positively influencing others. I am not talking about influencing. I am not discouraging you from putting yourself out there to share your life with someone for the good. What I am talking about is this thing of every time you have an achievement, it becomes public information. Every time you're struggling somewhere, it becomes public information. There are three words I have had to learn the difference. One is public, two is private, and the other is personal. In this video, we're going to discuss information and where it falls. Public information, personal information, and private information. Now, public information is very good because it helps others. It is informational, it is educative, it's entertaining. So that one, please keep going, keep going. Private information is information which is not for the public, but it's for a certain group of people who are close to you. For example, if you're an organization, what you put out there is public, but there is information which the organization calls people to keep in-house. It is private, it's not for everybody. For example, you'd want everyone to know as an organization that you made profit and the amount of profit you made. But how you lost along the way, how you struggled with this, how you have a lawsuit with this, how so-and-so is doing this, how a certain amount of money has been stolen from the organization, how the workers are biting each other, that is not public information. You don't want your image out there, like your client. You don't want your client to know things like that are happening in the organization because it will destroy the image. Are you understanding where I'm going? So even for an individual, there is public information. It belongs in the public, but there is also private information, and it's for the few people. Sometimes, because even if it goes out there in the public, it's not going to benefit the public, neither is it benefiting you. Like you're misplacing that information. So, what kind of things should you keep private and what should you keep public? I think even before we start to, make the set private, this one public, this one private, this one public, it is also important to ask yourself, why am I sharing this information with the public? If it is to help the public, you will very quickly know what belongs to the public. But if it is to help you, you very quickly know what you don't have to share with everybody, because the public is not going to help you. But there are certain people probably closer that will help you if that was the role or the purpose of sharing that information. So that information becomes private. By private, remember, I mean enclosed within a certain smaller group of people. For example, just because let me say, if I'm talking about myself, just because I had an accident, doesn't mean the whole world has to know that I had an accident. The public may find out, I can't stop that. But I'm not going to go to the public to tell the public how I had an accident. But there are certain people, maybe in a WhatsApp group that is very relational, very close, that I'll share, oh, you guys stand with me, oh, you guys, I need help with this, and I may share that information with them that I've had an accident. I don't know whether you get it where we are going. Why am I discouraging you from sharing everything with the public? One, we have said the public may not need the information, it doesn't help them. But two, not everyone is wishing you well. Not everyone is your friend, not everyone is on your side. Some people are competition, but some people are enemies. And sometimes even as they stand as enemies, they don't know what to fight with. All they see, like they don't know what to fight with if they're going to just look at you. They are waiting for the information that you're giving them to fight from there. Your competition is waiting for the information you're giving with to fight with. Your frenemies are waiting for the information you're giving them to fight with. I don't know whether you get where I'm getting. For example, if I don't know that you recently fell in love with someone, how am I going to sabotage that relationship before it grows? If I do not know that yesterday you fought with your sibling or with your spouse, how will I know where to cut? So there are certain things I'm inviting you to keep to the private circle, to a fewer people, that's where it belongs, because those people really know you, those people really understand you, they can make choices, decisions which will benefit you or to your benefit. But then also, as you are giving yourself out and sharing information with the public to help the public, there is also information you will share that will help the smaller group. When I say private includes your friends, it includes your family, it includes your extended family, but then also depending on the information, it could include your co-workers, it may include the people you live around, like your neighbors, because those are the people around you. I don't have to go and tell the whole Uganda how maybe our trench, maybe our drainage system has a problem. You get what I mean? Because now when I tell people in Karamoja or in another part of the world how my drainage system has a problem, so that they do what? But this one who is within my neighborhood, we can team up, work together for the good of the neighborhood. The objective of this conversation is to help you realize that sometimes when you share too much information, you're giving power to the person that is hearing this information about you. So what is private? Please keep it private. And then I also want to invite you to realize there's a difference between private and personal. Private has a group of people around you, but that group of people, you share certain things with them. Maybe you're sharing a house, you're sharing a workspace, you're sharing a village, you're sharing whatever it may be. You're sharing a sibling, you're sharing a parent. That is private. So while it is a smaller group, it's not public. However, beyond that, there is personal. I remember when we were being taught about personal, if I'm living with people in a house, we share the living room, we share the kitchen, but my bed, if I have a bed and I don't share it with someone, it's personal. Or even if I'm sharing it with someone, it's with me and that person who I'm sharing. So it is personal. If I'm living in the house with someone, we may share the couches, we may watch the TV together, but my toothbrush is personal, my towel is personal. So personal is more about me, the person. And sometimes those people with whom you're really bound, like your spouse, maybe your mom, and very, very, very close family members, there you can share personal information. For example, there are certain health issues I may have, and I don't have to share them with the entire public. You may find out later. In fact, have you realized that when people die, people will ask, what has killed the person? Many times when someone is asking what has killed the person, especially if the person has been not well for a very long time, that is a public person. Then a private person may know that person has been sick for a while. Maybe they found out they had malaria the other time, and that is a private person. The public person does not even know the person has been sick, or may know the person has been sick but doesn't know more information. Then the private person knows the person has been sick, knows what the person has been suffering from, but sometimes not to the nitty-gritty detail. And then when it comes to the personal space, that person who has been really taking care of this patient in the hospital may have more details. Now that person usually is the one who will share, because they know the person on a very close level personally. So I want to invite you to realize that some information is personal. I don't have to tell you certain things. Please live with that. People don't have to share. I have a child who will ask you to the nitty-gritty. Those children, every question you ask will lead to another question. And while they're my child, some information is just personal. I don't have to tell her, because the information I'm sharing with her is not going to help her in the first place. It may even lead them to worry or to think a certain way about me. It is not important that they will know. But also you realize that if you share personal information, you're giving power to the enemy. You're giving power to the person who is against you. Now, those are human beings, but people, have you ever realized that your main enemy is the devil? Do you know that the devil is not all knowing, is not all seeing, is not all present, like he's not omnipresent. It is God who is omnipresent. So he's not in every place at any one time. While he's your enemy and he uses all different, spirits or whatever to fight you, he doesn't know everything about you. And some of the information he gets to know about you, you're the one who tells him, and then he gets to use that information. For example, I once had a lady who was working on the dark side saying that they would wait to hear what people say. and then they would know what is going on in those people's lives. People are watching your status, they're watching what you're posting on Instagram, they are watching, and that is what they are going to use for you or against you. For example, if you say, oh, tomorrow I have an interview, and you have posted it online, you have an interview. It's not a bad thing to have an interview. But if someone doesn't want you to get that job, they just found out you're going to have an interview. You get what I'm saying? Tell your personal people, if they need to stand with you, guide you in some way for the interview, they will guide you. Our struggle will always be what is personal, what is private. Or what is private, what is public. Like the neighboring, you will struggle to differentiate between private and personal. You will struggle to differentiate between private and personal. You will struggle to differentiate between private and public. But oh, God help you that you will not put your information all out there. And then also, even as I say this, I want you guys to know the power that is in the tongue. Everything you confess, the universe is like some sort of powerhouse waiting to put into effect whatever we say, whatever we believe, whatever we're hoping for. So every time you're saying things out there, you're giving power to some sort of force to put them into practice. Guys, I'm saying these things and it sounds like, what is she saying? But that is how it is. The world, life is more spiritual than it is physical. It is more spiritual than we have been made to believe. So it is very, very important to save the information you're sharing, especially personal information. Keep things which are personal there about you. What is the importance of people knowing my toothbrush is blue and I brush twice a day at 9 a.m. and at 7 a.m.? Like why? So that what? So that I encourage them. My encouragement can be, please brush your teeth regularly. I don't have to share the nitty-gritty of my life. I want to invite you to be very, 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 very careful what you're posting online, what you're saying online. Just because you had a quarrel yesterday with your spouse or whatever doesn't mean you post it. And then some of us can know what is going on in people's lives by just reading their status and the memes they put. You're like, now who are they telling? Then we know this and that is going on in your life. So please be very careful. Be very, very careful. Be very, very sensitive. Some people are looking for information to use it against you. You guys know. You know, if you're a celebrity, you know, like we are always looking for things about your life. So even you, in your own way, you are someone's celebrity. People are looking for information about you. I have heard someone was saying, I don't want people to find out this is going to happen until the last moment so that they don't sabotage it. It is being fearful, but they are right. You don't have to share every information with everybody because they will use it against you in some way. But I also want you guys to wake up and realize that the devil doesn't know things about you. He does not know what you're thinking at every one time. He does not know what is going on in your life. He does not know what God has called you to do. He doesn't know what your plans are until you start saying them out. I want to invite you to keep certain things to yourself. I want to invite you to keep certain things to your personal people, your spouse, your mom, your sisters. I want to invite you to keep certain things to personal spaces, rather to private spaces, only your workmates, only your neighborhood, only your... And I also want to invite you to share some information with the public. Like if there's something, like what I'm doing right now, I could keep quiet and say these things to only a few people, or to myself really, but if I feel like it's going to help someone, it is okay to share. So things which are going to help people get better, share with them. But if it's not important, why are you giving us information overload? Keep that to yourself, please. This video may be a very hard pill to swallow, but it is the truth. Mind what you say, to who you say, when you say it, how you say it. Mind what you're posting online. Mind what your status is. For us, we are picking information, and not everyone has the opportunity to ask you what you meant. We're going to take it the way it is. 2, if you have something to say to somebody, call them and say it. Don't be indirect. If you have something you've not told someone, please share, communicate to the person who needs that information, not to everyone. For example, I know like when it is people's birthdays, we share generally, how we appreciate them, and that is a very good thing. But there are certain information in that thing you're sharing that it is them who should know. It is them who will understand. Can we do that privately and let them know that part of the information? But we can share how we appreciate them on our statuses and whatever. So guys, as we look to get better, to improve, to work harder, to do this and that better, please save your information, mind your information. Please group the information, the things you're saying to people or what you're saying about yourself into private, public, and personal. Don't throw yourself out there for everyone. You have enemies, you have frenemies, but even if you don't, the devil is your enemy and is waiting to hear what you're saying, what you're posting, what you're telling other people. Not every achievement needs to be posted. Not every failure needs to be shared publicly. I wish you well as you grow and as you get better. Ciao.